Good morning, bows and bow ties. So yes, I need some lip gloss. Because the lips are looking a little plain. I know I look a little busted today, early every day, because it is early. I wanted to leave about 38 minutes ago, but I couldn't get myself together. So it's 5:08. So I want to wrap up a couple of things on the Olympics and this diaspora division that I'm seeing on the internet. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the diaspora division, but I want to get a couple of hee-haws at the Olympics. Okay, number one, I want to just give a shout out to every everyone or any country that has won a medal whose athlete trains in the United States. Now, I know that was a shady shout out. Now, on the one hand, I am happy for their dreams, okay? Because to be able to compete at the Olympics is amazing. I think where I'm getting a little bit of a chuckle is many of the people who train in the United States have either like dual citizenship or they have trained in the United States, they have gone to school in the United States, they use all of our facilities or whatever. So the reason why I'm giving Shady shout out is because on the one hand, I think it's amazing that these athletes have achieved something incredible, right? To be able to compete at the Olympics, let alone if you got a medal. And I say this because I feel like, and I'm still riding that whole American thing, and I'm proud to be an American, you know. Um, Everyone is using American resources and training and that type of thing. I shouldn't say everyone, but I am because I'm sure it'll trigger somebody. But I feel like those are really American medals. At the end of the day, many of these athletes are not truly homegrown like athletes, right? They live in the United States. They train in the United States. They have our coaches, our facilities, everything. Some of them I think may even have dual citizenship, and they choose to compete for either their other nationality or their so-called home nationality because I don't blame them. That it's an opportunity to compete in the Olympics. But it cracks me up every year, every Worlds or every 4 years, every Olympics. I listen to people who clearly live here in the United States, grown up here, etc. I mean, you know what it makes me think of? I know it's a slight segue. It makes me think of Naomi Osaka, the tennis player. She's lived much of her life in the United States. Um, she's Haitian and Japanese American, if I remember correctly. So her father is from Haiti, um, lived here, and her mom is Japanese. But it was easier for her, and if you read up on her story, to claim Japan as the flag that she competes under, right? My understanding is there were some things on United States development, tennis development, or whatever that program is. I think it didn't, either they weren't supporting her. I don't remember the whole story. And plus, she makes a lot of money by claiming Japan. But let's be clear, most of these athletes are not training in their so-called home country. They're not. Look at Leon Marchand from France. As shady as France was in its Olympics, their hero had to come. I think it was the University of Arizona. He looked up Michael Phelps, said, "I wanted to be the best. I'm going to train under whoever his trainer was." I understand, but generally speaking, our athletes train at home. I'm sure there's an exception to every rule. Don't at me. Don't come for me. I'm just calling a thing a thing. We I totally can respect. I look at like China. Now I'm sure some of their athletes compete here too, but I mean have I'm sorry, use our resources, whatever. But largely my understanding, and I could be wrong, I've been wrong before and I'll be wrong again. Their athletes grow up and train in China. So they grow they have their own system, they grow their athletes. That doesn't mean that they don't learn from other people and vice versa. We've had to do that with gymnastics when the Corollis immigrated to the United States back in 1900 something, and they had to bring over and They had to give us a system under how to create these athletes, and of course, we ran with it, and now we've created a whole other look for gymnastics. But what I'm going back at it with is Julian Alfred. Shout out to her for winning the 100-meter women's gold medal. But let's be clear, that woman is probably American, and I forgot what country she's representing, someplace in the Caribbean. Okay, but she got to compete under her Caribbean flag because I'm sure she was having a hard time qualifying. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just calling the thing a thing. To include the Jamaicans. Now, let me just talk about the Jamaicans for a second. As much as Jamaica has all this pride, and they should, because, really they're only known for producing track and field athletes as far as I know. But let's be clear. They're still training here in the United States, our resources, our systems, etc. I'm just calling a thing a thing. But what was okay? Now I'm gonna get off of the training thing and go on to something else. I was so disappointed that they did not give Shelly Ann Fraser the opportunity to run. Well, technically they did, but what they did to Sha'Carri and Shelly Ann, not allowing them into the village because they changed the rule overnight, I just kind of felt like Paris is a piece of SHIT. Or France rather, the way they treated these athletes. To not have her run, or for her to not compete in the 100-meter final, I was just turned off. I was just like, she has to run. Because as much as I'm shading all these athletes for training in the United States and this, that, and the other, the fact of the matter is, I still wanted to see the Jamaicans run. They're fun to watch. At the end of the day, they're still our people. They just have an accent. you know, I was just really disappointed that they didn't get a chance to do what they need to do. I was disappointed in their beat down relay team, like the U.S. beat relay team. Good lord, that 4x100 shenanigans. I just feel like because we have such a high standard here, I feel like it just, I don't know what's going on, but they are a disgrace. They're a national disgrace. How do you not even get on the medal stand? So don't even get me started with the men's 4x1. I want to give a special shout out to Australia because Australia clowned so bad these Olympics. Let me just start off with Australia is one big Karen. Australia is a Karen. They are a Karen. Let me tell you why. Australia picked a fight with us that we didn't even know we were in. We didn't even know we had beef with Australia. They picked a swimming fight over this medal count thing. Know that it was early in the Olympics, and we usually run away on the middle to the back end of the Olympics with many medals. But they picked a fight with us because they're like, these Americans, I'm sick and tired of hearing this Star Spangled Banner. They don't know how to count medals because we count all of our medals, right? And they're like, it only goes by the gold. And they are so psycho. And so, of course, from the time that they made those silly comments, which was actually pre-Olympics, leading up and during the Olympics, I'm sorry, they made an issue about our Star Spangled Banner before the Olympics. Then they complained during the Olympics about how we counted medals, right? Well, by the time that they were speaking, it was already outdated because we continued to win medals, particularly gold. But they talk too much. So then they got in their feelings because people were calling them out like, why are you picking a fight with us? It's a one-sided beef that we didn't even know we were in. So now Australia loses their mind. They were upset, like, see, well, we're going to count based off of per capita. I actually saw that. Now, they changed the rules during the medal. They were like, that's not how you count. You don't go by goals anymore. We go by per capita. They were making up new lists. I was like, Australia is a Karen. Then Australia had the audacity. Now listen to this. They had the audacity to put this woman, Ray Gunn, this PhD student and whatever, out there on a national stage doing, I don't know what that was she was doing, but she was competing in breakdancing. And then this is what their country put. Look, your country did this, not us. You guys did that. You guys put that woman out there, blew her head up, and she went out there and did a kangaroo hop and some other stuff. I'm like, nothing about that says hip hop and breakdancing. She was so bad that the World Wide Web decided to make memes on her, and I was here for the memes. And I know that people like their inner Karen, Australia's Karen, came out because now they're mad that people are making memes off of Ray Gunn and her bad dancing. I mean, I don't even know what that was. She was rolling around, flopping on the floor. She did a kangaroo hop. She did some weird thing with her arm, and I was like, what's happening right now? What is happening? The hee haw in me, because I caught everything afterwards, because I was on vacay. I was not in the country, therefore I did not really have full access to where I wanted. But they had the audacity to be upset that the world was like, no ma'am. I don't know what this is, but this isn't it. This woman was so bad. My understanding, she came in last place. So now Australia, in full on Karen mode, is mad at the world, namely the United States, for hee-hawing at Miss Raygun or Dr. Raygun. I don't know what she's a doctor of. I think she's a PhD. What I do know is you can't get mad and pick a fight with everybody and then get mad when people respond. Now, if they would have just left us alone, there would not, no, we probably still would have made news about this. This lady was ridiculous. And of course, the blacks had to weigh in. They're like, had I known that this was going to be a category, everyone's like, I could have breakdanced at this point. So they're like, how is it that y'all going to go take our breakdancing stuff and do that? No, sir. No, ma'am. So anyway, I want to give a shout out to Karen Australia because they picked so many fights and then got mad when people started clapping back. The memes over the medal counts and the swimming and the break dancing and everything. I was here for all of it because it was funny. I'm like, you cannot get out here picking fights with people on the internet and then mad when people clap back and slap back. I'm like, it was just hilarious. Let me jump into the beautifulness of it all. Now, I know I just made up a word, but let me just say, shout out to these track and field athletes. These women were just stunning. I was like, is that a requirement? Do they have to chisel that in concrete that in order to run anything, really like the sprinting medals, whatever, like, if you want to run for the United States in track and field, we have a beauty standard. These women, I was like, can I get a snippet of your hair? Can I just get some skin samples from under your nails? Just a little bit of DNA. I need to see what's in the DNA of these women. These women were flat out stunning. Gorgeous. And I like the fact that they weren't all wearing these wigs all the time, these crazy wigs. I'm like, I know they had their hair, don't get me wrong, had hair stitches, whatever like that. But these women, they were so beautiful. And they were so clean and so simple. And you could see their face. They were just flat out gorgeous. By the way, shout out to the Irish track star. Her name was Rashida Adeleke. And I know I'm saying her name wrong. My apologies. It is not my intention to say her name wrong. Um, this woman, I was looking at this stunner. I was like, how do you wake up like that on purpose and just look like that? It's so unfair. She was gorgeous. I couldn't stop staring at her. I couldn't stop staring at all of our track and field women athletes. Like I was just looking at they were. Oh, you would think I was some sort of guy or something the way I was looking at these women. I was like, they're just so beautiful. They were just beautifully long legged and strong and gorgeous. And I was like, your face game, the face card was not declining. Okay, the body was bodying like, and then they were winning gold medals. I was like, yo, these women. So for all of you up and coming like track stars and track wannabes, you better make sure that you go get somebody to give you a full on like a real beauty assessment because you may not make the team just if you're looking. regular. These women were everything. They were flat out beautiful. And then, because I was on the TikTok, I saw some of their posted content. Gorge. They were funny too. They were funny. All right, let's see. Shout out to Alona Mar. I still think she's a national treasure. I mean, watching her just throw down in women's rugby. Hello. And she's funny. So I just want to give a shout out to Alona Mar. Like, I heard you. You were like amazing. There's so much I want to say. Of course, I've done videos where I was like, Paris is tacky. I mean, like, France is tacky. The Olympics is tacky. Everything from like the no like protein and the eggs and the chicken and the chickpeas to the cardboard beds to the no air conditioning. Like, yeah, just all around tacky. Changing the rules. The weird thing with the gymnastics beam and all these girls are falling off at the same spot in the beam, whatever. I don't know. Like everything about Paris was just tacky. And I lived in Europe. I've been to Paris more than once. I don't remember it being this tacky, but maybe it always was, and I had blinders on. I don't know. There's more I could talk about with the Olympics, but I don't really want to get to the Jordan Childs thing. And is she going to keep her medal? Because I know there was some scoring controversy, and the Romanian girl wanted to have a medal. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what they're going to do with that. I wish I'd seen her performance. I wasn't able to see her performance at the time during my vacation, so I had to catch, just the news on it. Let me just say this because I don't have much time. For all of the people who are in my comments, because I posted a video on some of the Black British. So there's a level of delusion with some of the Black British because they don't believe that Black British are talking bad about the Americans. They're like, well, we don't sit around and talk about the Americans. I'm like, well, clearly you do because a lot of you are showing up in my timeline. So let's call a thing a thing. Don't sit there and say you guys don't talk about the Black Americans when you clearly do. I'm going to say what I'm going to say again, and then you guys are just going to have to get over it. If you're a hit dog, please go ahead and holler. Bow wow, woof woof, whatever it is you need to do. I'm going to say it again, and you're going to have to get with some acceptance. Everybody talks about everybody, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to say this. Generally speaking, Black Americans do not think about other Black people around the world. You know why? Because we think about ourselves. We're into ourselves. Me. We are not trying to be like the Black British. We don't care what's going on over there because you know why? We're American, and you know how Americans are. Americans tend to be like self-centered and focus on ourselves. And it's the truth. Now, you don't have to like it, but the fact of the matter is, you guys don't push culture. You're not culture. Wait, is this my accent? I should probably get off. Let me just burn my mouth. You guys don't push the culture. We push the culture. The fact of the matter is, the Black British seem to be weirdly obsessed with Black Americans. We don't think about you. You want to be like us, if you ask me. Now, I know this is kind of a little bit of a rib, but the point I'm making is you want to play in our movies. You impersonate our accent. You want to be like us. And you get mad when we call a thing a thing. Yeah, I know I'm being petty. We actually don't have any beef with the Black British. You have beef with us. You say you don't, but you do. And at the end of the day, we push culture, good and bad culture. It's not the Black British. You don't find anybody saying or trying to be like the Black British. You want to wear our hairstyles, have our lingo, our clothing, our everything, and it's okay. We're the same people. But the fact of the matter is, Black Americans are pushing culture. We're pushing the needle. And if you think that the Caribbean are better than us, they're no different. They are actually part of North America. Even if you got off the boat, you either got off in the Caribbean or you got off in the United States. They're the same people, different accent. And if the Caribbean, those from the Caribbean think that they're different, they're delusional and uneducated too. I said what I said. I don't know why you're hyper focused on us. You're like, well, you don't know where you're coming from. Look, the Caribbean, those in the Caribbean don't know where they come from. They got off the boat earlier. But at the end of the day, we're like, actually, yes, we do. We come from here. We can actually trace our lineage back hundreds of years. However, you guys probably can't trace yours back because you guys, your country lines keep moving. You're recreating new countries. You're probably not even 100 years old, some of these countries. Can you confidently go back and say where you come from? Have you guys even had a census longer than 100 years? So don't get in my comments being all upset. Now, we still love y'all, but the fact of the matter is we're not focused on y'all because you're living over there, we're living over here. We're really into ourselves. I know I'm into myself. All right. Now, go ahead and be mad. It's all right to be mad. Maybe I'll do another video on it. I don't know. I think my inner ADD kicks in. I'm like, I'm tired of talking about it. I said what I said. Just be mad. We still love y'all, though, whether you want to accept it or not. Those are your issues. They're not mine. I'm sorry. Those are your issues. They're not mine. But look, go live your lives. Go eat your little tea and your scones and drink your tea. Okay? We're going to probably eat a freaking burger with a whole bunch of, I don't know, preservatives or something in it. All right, now look, let me get off of here because I got to go into work shortly and I don't feel like arguing with you guys. Like, y'all just have to be mad by yourself. Argue with yourselves. Do not argue with me. All right. Happy Monday. Go ahead and subscribe. Leave a comment.